video, I'm going to talk a little bit about how figuring out your character's zodiac signs could potentially help you while building character profiles and writing a story. Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? Welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. My name is Jackie and I am an author of historical mysteries. And in today's video, I am going to be sharing my tips on how to build your characters and character relationships using astrology. Now, before we begin, I just want to say I am not an astrology expert by any means. And I don't even necessarily really believe in it firmly. It's just, to me, something to think about for fun, check your horoscope now and again. So I am definitely not an expert in every single sign, but this, as a writing exercise, has helped me in the past in some ways and is something that I enjoy doing. So I thought it would be beneficial to share with you all just in case it can help anyone else out there. Also, like I said, it's just a fun character exercise. It's not something to take super seriously, in my opinion. So just wanted to get that disclaimer out of the way first. Thinking about your character's zodiac sign can be beneficial in multiple different ways. First of all, just helps you establish a birthday for them, which can be very useful, particularly if you're writing a book that is set over multiple years or a book in a series. It can help you keep track of how old they are during different events in your books. It can also help you think about your character's strengths and weaknesses, their goals for their lives, and how they interact with other characters around them. So first, before we go any further, let's just do a quick overview of the zodiac. So traditionally, there are 12 signs, and those signs are divided into 4 different groups: the fire signs, the air signs, the water signs, and the earth signs. One of the first things that I do when I am thinking about a character's zodiac sign is look at this graphic. Now, I did not create this graphic, I just got it from Google Images, but I like how it quickly and succinctly lays out some positive and negative traits of each sign. So you can look at this to see what is speaking to you. And instead of having to research all 12 signs, you can think about what type of sign you think your character is, and then you only have to do a deep dive into 3 signs instead of all 12. So let's do a quick overview of the different groups right now. First, the fire signs. That is going to be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So as the name suggests, fire signs are going to be fiery people. They are very passionate, very ambitious, they can be temperamental, and they are just people who are full of life. So if your character is someone who has a very passionate personality, then a fire sign might work for them. The earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And these are going to be, very down-to-earth people. They are grounded, they are practical, they are very hardworking, and they also love the comforts of living. They also can be peacemakers, the type of people who really don't want a lot of conflict and want the people around them to get along. The air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and these people are going to be sort of visionaries in many different ways. They're people who are very curious. They are deeply curious about life and the things that are going on around them. They tend to be more outgoing and extroverted, and they're also very intellectual. They think very deeply about things. Finally, the water signs. These signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. I am a Pisces. My birthday is February 19th, so I am actually just on the cusp between Aquarius and Pisces, though most horoscopes list me as a Pisces, and that's the sign that I identify with. So all of these water signs, we're going to be people who are very in touch with our emotions, for better or for worse. A water sign is more likely to be sentimental, sensitive, very empathetic in touch with our emotions and in touch with other people's emotions. The good thing about water signs is that they are capable of really relating to people on a deeper level. They feel deeply for other people, and they are going to be very kind-hearted and loyal to you if you have them as a friend. So perhaps one of those descriptions really resonated with you, and as I was talking about that group of signs, you thought to yourself, yes, that sounds like my protagonist. If that's the case, then you can just research those 3 signs in that group to learn more about each one and see which one you think is the best fit for your character. And like I mentioned, there are some people like me who are born on the cusp between 2 different signs, and so those people are more likely to have some traits from this sign and some traits from that sign. So if your character doesn't neatly fit into one box, maybe they're on the cusp. So now let's get into how should you pick a zodiac sign for your character. Now listen, you're probably not going to find one sign that sounds 100% like your character. And like I said, I don't take horoscopes that seriously. I don't think you need to beat yourself up over finding one sign that's perfect. Just do a little research and pick the one that feels true to your character. Start by investigating one particular group of signs. If your character is very fiery, very strong-willed, then they might be a fire sign. If they're a much more down-to-earth person, they might be an earth sign. If they're very emotional, they might be a water sign. And so you can just investigate the particular group that you think your character would best fit into. If for some reason the story requires your character to be born in a particular month or season, you can use that to guide your research as well. If, for instance, you know that the plot requires your main character to celebrate their birthday in the summer, you can look at what signs coincide with birthdays in June, July, and August, and that can help you direct your research. Another thing that you can do is think about one particular trait or an aspect of your character that you think is very important. And then you can go online and research what signs commonly embody these traits. Like, for instance, if you know your character is a very messy person, look up which zodiac signs are the most likely to be messy, etc. This is something that I did with my most recent book, Project Dagger, because I was having a really hard time finding a zodiac sign that I think worked for my main male character. I wasn't really finding one that I thought was the perfect fit. So what I did is I thought about some things about him and went on Google to see what signs have those traits. For instance, he's kind of a bit sarcastic, a bit of a smart ass, not very good at talking about his feelings, and he is somebody who was very drawn to fame and celebrity, but that's just concealing the fact that he's secretly very insecure. And one sign that consistently popped up when I was looking up these things was Aries. So in the end, I decided that was going to be the sign that I gave him. And like I said, don't agonize over finding the perfect fit, because this is not something that you need to take that seriously. It's just a character building exercise. So you may not find a sign that 100% sounds like your character all the time. There are a lot of times I read descriptions of Pisces and I think it totally sounds like me. And there are other times that I read things about Pisces and I'm like, that's not really me. Every person is complex and it's hard to put them into a box. So just find one that feels good to you and feels like a natural starting point for building your character. Another thing that I did was use this personality test from psychtests.com. I will put the link in the description. So like I said, with my most recent project, I was struggling to pick a zodiac sign for my main male character because I felt like he had traits from different signs and there wasn't one that was totally calling out to me. So I found this personality test online. You answer the questions and it tells you what zodiac sign is most like your personality. So I answered all the questions the way I thought my character would answer them if he was a real person. And you know what result I got on the quiz? Aries. So he is a total Aries, confirmed. This could be a great tool for you to use if you want to pick out a zodiac sign for a character, but you're just not sure which one to choose, or maybe you're torn between 2 or 3. Just see what the quiz tells you, and if it's one of the ones on your shortlist. So we discussed how you can figure out what your fictional character's zodiac sign is, but how can this help you as a writer, and why does it even matter? So a zodiac sign has a stereotypical personality associated with it, and thus if you're new to writing or struggling to understand your character, this can help you figure out that character as a person. Obviously, they're not a real person, but you need to know them and understand them as if they were a real person. That's what's going to make them feel real to the reader. So knowing their zodiac sign can help you figure out big things about your character. It can help you figure out how they act around their friends, how they act in romantic relationships, what they value, what they want out of life, what they're afraid of. It can also help you flesh out the little tiny details of your character. Like I said earlier, are they messy or are they organized? Do they love spontaneity or do they love routines? Do they like to go out partying or do they like to stay home? Little things like this really help you flesh out your character and make them feel more real. So knowing their zodiac sign can help you identify some potential habits for your character. And it's very important to know a lot about your character, even things that may not necessarily appear in the book proper. So I think a zodiac sign is a great place to start and think about your character's habits. Another thing that zodiac signs can help you with is figuring out relationships between characters. If you have 2 characters who are in a romantic relationship, who are crushing on each other, who are family members or friends, you can look up the compatibility between their 2 signs, and that can help you while writing their relationship. When you're writing 2 characters in a relationship of any kind, it is very important to know what brought them together in the first place. What do they like about each other, and what really pisses them off about each other? It's important to know what is strengthening their relationship and also what conflicts they might have in their relationship. So if that's something that you're struggling with, knowing the zodiac signs of your 2 characters gives you a good place to start, because you can look up the compatibility of those signs and dive into what are some of the problems they might face. Knowing their signs can help you discover, okay, what might my characters argue about? What might they disagree on? How might they show their love to one another? And that can help make their relationship feel more realistic. Now though, one caveat is, while there are some signs that have a greater natural affinity, let's say, it's also okay if you have 2 characters who are meant to be shipped together and their zodiac signs aren't necessarily a picture-perfect match. Because, a horoscope is not going to tell you, oh, your boyfriend's an Aries, you need to dump him. It's just telling you, okay, maybe your 2 temperaments are not going to necessarily get along easily all of the time. But if you're really committed to this relationship and you want to make it work, you can, provided you're both willing to do the hard work, communicate, and recognize the needs of the other person. So even if 2 characters aren't on paper the best fit, they can still make it work. And honestly, that can make for really good writing, because if you're showing 2 characters having to go through a lot together and overcome a lot, that can ultimately, at the end of the day, strengthen their bond and show that they're both really committed to pursuing a relationship with the other person, even when it's hard. Like I said, in my most recent book, I envision my main male character as being an Aries, and my main female character, who is romantically involved with him, is a Pisces. She has a lot of my traits. I knew I wanted to give her the same sign as me. And Aries and Pisces are not said to be a very good match. The Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. The Pisces is the last sign. They are, at polar ends of the spectrum. But if they are willing to make the effort in their relationship, it could potentially help, the Pisces be more self-confident and more outgoing, and the Aries control some of their impulses and learn to empathize more. So, even though these two signs should not go together in theory, I do think for my two characters, it is a good fit. They do have a second chance romance in the book, so I think it's kind of fitting that their two signs don't naturally go together. Their first relationship was not successful, but the book raises the question of, okay, if there's still love there, can the two of them change and have a successful relationship this time? So even though in theory their signs shouldn't go together, I think it fits the characters and their arc. And never let somebody's sign, in real life or in fiction, determine whether you're interested in them or not. It's just meant to be fun. You shouldn't dump your boyfriend just because he's an Aries. Ultimately, at the end of the day, knowing your character's zodiac sign should not be the be-all, end-all of character creation, but I think it can be a really great starting point, and it can help you when you're really struggling with a certain aspect of your character. It can help you identify their strengths, their weaknesses, their habits, and create realistic conflict between characters in your story. So those are my tips on choosing an astrological sign for the characters in your book. I hope this video was helpful. Why don't you let me know what your zodiac sign is down below if you know it? And if you're still here and you want to show your support but you don't know what to comment, is there a fish emoji? Because Pisces is the two fish. So why don't you comment a fish down below? Please like this video if you enjoyed. It will help the video reach more writers like you. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every single week, and I am going to have more writing tips coming soon. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you in the next video.